The mystery of a 12-year-old Detroit boy found alive hiding in his father's basement after he was reported missing is deepening today. Detroit police hope to get answers from Charlie Bothell after speaking with him for the first time yesterday. That's the little boy. And while they won't reveal the details of that conversation, a police spokesman said the department is getting, quote, good information. So let's talk about that. Joining me now is HLN's Jane Valez Mitchell and psychologist Erik Fisher. Welcome to both of you. Jane, I want to start with you because you guys have uncovered so many details. Tell us more about what life was like for Charlie in this home.
Well, we don't have definitive answers at all, Carol, but what's emerging is what I see as a portrait of extreme discipline that maybe this 12-year-old boy said, I just can't take it anymore, and walked out into the night. We know, and we're learning, that the father had taken the little boy from the biological mother to help him get better at school. And then he ends up homeschooling the kid. Now, the kid turns 12, puberty, sometimes they chafe at that age, and also he was being subjected reportedly to extreme exercise, a regimen that would exhaust even the fittest adult. Apparently, he was supposed to march several thousand steps without stopping on an elliptical. That was reportedly what he was doing when he disappeared. He said he had to take a bathroom break and then ultimately vanished. And since the stepmother, who was the one who was with him at the time, reportedly informed the dad, who was not there, of that, there's a sense that maybe the boy was afraid of what the dad's response would be. Now, you couple that with the discovery of PVC pipe, which authorities said was a piece of evidence in this case, as well as bloody clothing. You got to ask what the hell was going on inside that house. Was this a case of extreme discipline that crossed the line into child abuse? And pointedly, the authorities are saying they have not eliminated the possibility of abuse.
So Erik, when you watched Charlie's father on Nancy Grace's show, and she told him that, you know, they had found his son hiding in the basement, and his emotions seemed very, very real. How do you equate that with the extreme disciplinarian and this seemingly loving father on television?
Well, a disciplinarian can be very loving. It depends on how they define love. This may be a pattern where this pattern of discipline could be generational, and it might be what he was taught was acceptable. We don't know that. So there's a lot of things that are up in the air in this case and situation, but there's so many situations I've seen over my 20 years where people, as parents, love their kids so much that they lose their objectivity on what's in their best interest. They often justify, well, it was good enough for me, so it's good enough for them, even though there are issues those parents have that they deny, and they just can't see beyond their blindness to see what's harming their children in many cases.
So Jane, the stepmother has been arrested on unrelated weapons charges, and she's sitting in jail right now. What are police trying to do?
Trying to get information out of her. Remember, she pointedly refused to take a polygraph. And they found out on Monday that she had this alleged probation violation, but it was after they finally interviewed the little boy a couple of hours later, while we were doing our show last night, that we heard that they had picked her up and taken her into custody. So they want to find out what's the real story here. Clearly, the boy who talked to them told them stuff, and they want to confirm it with her. The big question, I think, is was she part of this extreme discipline, or was she somehow trying to protect this child? I don't believe this child could have been on the run for 11 days and then magically reappeared in the basement without help from some adult. Was there some adult out there, some relative, some friend, somebody who decided this extreme discipline and exercise is over the top, and when this boy went running to that person, took him in, protected him? Is there a variation somehow on that theme? Because even the cops said they didn't think the boy was that long in the basement, and they didn't think he could have pulled all of this off by himself.
Well, and Erik, it's so heartbreaking to think that this little boy might have escaped and went somewhere and then was rejected somehow, and then he has to go back home, and he chooses to huddle in a corner in the basement.
Well, and that's where the speculation is, was he put there also? So here again, you have the situation where it might have been, often what I talk to people about is their real, feel, and ideal selves. And we often show our ideal self to the outside world. in our families or close groups that we show our real self. And if this person, this father, may have been very controlling, and it sounds like with him wanting to homeschool his son and have him do all these exercises, this could be a very controlling person that might not see how he intimidates other people. If other people in the neighborhood may have been hiding him and they saw that they could be accessories to a crime, and I thought, I can't do this anymore, and they just want to wash their hands of it, but they also know that this son might be in a very difficult situation. So it becomes a situation of liability and potentially fear on their part, but then here he is trapped, and if I feel trapped and stuck, I might want to do whatever I can do to escape, which might be what he did. And if I'm a stepmother who sees something excessive, who also has children with the father too, I might see I have to do something, but I can't do something to oppose my husband so much, so I have to do it behind the scenes. So these are all pieces that still have to be uncovered.
Absolutely. Jane Valez Mitchell, Erik Fisher, thanks so much. And keep in mind, no charges have been filed, but child abuse charges have not been ruled out either.